willing candidate.
Candidate. Your elections are unpredictable.
Mr. Zhang, there's something you need to know about American politics. When you've got the money, nothing is unpredictable.
Hi, I'm Armand Manoukian. That was a clip from the movie The Campaign, and although it's a parody film, today we'll examine why that statement might be a bit true. This election season has been a groundbreaking one, with the future of American politics emerging in the popular candidates. It's been a historic season for women, socialists, libertarians, and even mayonnaise mixed with orange food coloring in a pastry bag. However, whether we've noticed it or not, we've definitely been affected by another huge player in politics, dark money. Dark money comes in many forms: super PACs, special interest groups, LLCs, or $20 bills that just got back from a cruise in the Caribbean. In 2004, $5.9 million of dark money had been spent in total. Between 2009 and 2012, one of the largest contributors of dark money, the Center to Protect Patient Rights, spent 33 times that. Think of the rise of dark money like the experiment that made Chris Evans super buff in Captain America, but instead of becoming something like Captain America, dark money has become something like Hydra. But as of right now, you're probably confused as to what dark money is or why the human manifestation of Arthur the Aardvark is rambling on about it. For a better description, here you go.
Well, any election funding that comes from groups who don't need to disclose their donors is described as dark money. Shady donor groups generally come in two forms: politically active nonprofits like social welfare and trade organizations, or limited liability corporations.
Now, if you're thinking this sounds a little odd, good, that means you're qualified to be an ethicist. If this seems just fine to you, thanks for watching Italian Mob, I hope you enjoy. So if this sounds like it should be so illegal, how is it that over $1 billion of what has been spent in 2016 has been dark? Well, that's probably due to a Supreme Court case now simply referred to as Citizens United.
Citizens United Morris came about in 2010 when the Supreme Court ruled in a very split decision, 5-4 as close as you can get, that corporations, unions, and also too nonprofit corporations of a certain sort can raise and spend unlimited amounts of money, pull from their treasury, and give that to basically support or oppose politicians.
But there's levels to this. Citizens United is an organization that is at the forefront of dark money and thus represented all super PACs in the Supreme Court. As the video explained, the decision was 5-4. Two of the justices who voted in favor were Justice Thomas and Justice Scalia, and they were both frequent guests of the Kochs. And Justice Thomas's wife was paid by an organization, the Heritage Foundation, which had the same donors as Citizens United. Those donors, by the way, are the Koch brothers, which I'll come back to later. Neither of those two justices chose to withdraw themselves from the case in order to help their friends. And at this point, the amount of shade needed to match the Supreme Court case would require a palm tree the size of Delaware. Anyway, apparently it's legal, it seems to be here to stay, so who benefits from it? In short, Republicans are the greatest beneficiaries of dark money. This is due to the fact that the most politically involved billionaires in the world, the Koch brothers, are far, far right. In case they look familiar to you, the Koch brothers are the children of Scrooge McDuck and Ursula from The Little Mermaid. The Koch brothers are much like an STD to our democratic process. You can barely see them when they first arrive, they're a pain in the ass all the time, and they're probably going to stop you from any form of social progress, whether that be passing meaningful climate change reform or hitting on that girl from your Zumba class. With that being said, the Koch brothers are famous in America. Special interest groups are constantly being tied to them, journalists are making it their life's work to expose them, and they're even being parodied in movies. Take a look.
My brother and I are job creators. And because of that, we're also candidate creators.
My hands are tied.
It's a real pity, isn't it, Wade?
Yeah. By the time we're finished, half your district will think you're a Marxist, and the other half will think you've got every DC Craigslist hooker on speed dial.
Now, that movie stars Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell, so it isn't necessarily an accurate depiction. Or is it? Take Kansas's 4th congressional district, for example. Not only is it home to the Koch brothers' non-renewable energy company, but in 2010 it went through an unusual congressional race. Todd Tiahrt was a congressman for the district between 1995 and 2011 and racked up over $330,000 from the Kochs. However, in 2009, he supported a Democrat-sponsored bill called the Cash for Clunkers program that incentivizes Americans to sell their cars and buy more fuel-efficient ones. The Koch brothers are famous for their climate change denial, so a program that would recognize human pollution as a problem didn't fit their agenda. Hence, they unendorsed Tiahrt and endorsed his competitor, while simultaneously pulling funding from the district in large chunks, tanking the district's economy. The Koch brothers fund and endorse nearly every member of the far right, from the Tea Party to Second Amendment advocates to the guy who brought a snowball into the Congress floor to prove that climate change is fake. The last time someone with this much money was this dangerous was when, well, Donald Trump's last press conference. But this isn't a video about the Kochs. It'd be hard to argue that the Kochs aren't the major source of dark money in this nation. The Kochs are to dark money as Michael Bay is to bad movies. He isn't the sole source of them, but it's hard to point fingers at anyone else. Either way, let's look at one of the largest contributors of dark money in this nation, Freedom Partners. If you were to go on their website, freedompartners.org, you'd find a video loaded with graphics like this one.
5 years ago, Congress passed the Bipartisan Budget Control Act, and President Obama signed the historic spending cuts into law. Their goal? Start to address our national debt and try to get the government to live within its means, just like American families do every day. But Washington couldn't do it. They changed the law, increased spending, and the budget process is still broken.
Now, nothing in that video seems dark or bad in any way until you realize that the founders of this organization are as shady as a doctor whose office is in the back room of a Carl's Jr. Why are they shady, you ask? Well, that's because the Koch brothers are major funders of the Freedom Partners too. They aren't a separate entity, just a mere Ponzi scheme used by the Kochs to further their agenda through more channels. But it gets worse. According to OpenSecrets.org, another one of the largest dark money donors between 2009 and 2014 was the Center to Protect Patient Rights, an organization mentioned earlier in this video. Their name itself provides what they donate for, but that's where it ends, really. On nearly every donor registry site, their industry is marked as unknown and their organization type is other. Much like a Tinder profile, the Center to Protect Patient Rights keeps its description online purposely vague so that no one knows that they funnel mysterious amounts of dark money into candidates who will fulfill their agenda, or how much they're into My Little Pony. Through multiple reports, we can conclude that the Center to Protect Patient Rights donated roughly $164 million between January 2009 and December 2014. However, the Federal Election Commission, whose job it is to report dark money spending, reported a grand total of $0 spent by the CPPR, which sort of makes the Tinder analogy weird, because on Tinder you lie about having $164 million, not the other way around. And that's not the only thing wrong with the CPPR. By the 2012 midterms, it was discovered that, you guessed it, the Koch brothers are major funders of that organization too. So the top two dark money organizations in this country are run by the same people. It's almost like the system of dark money is the E! Network. You have one core group of people, the Kardashians, and every time you advertise a new show like Chloe and Kourtney Take Miami, everyone thinks it's different, when in fact it's the same people over and over again. Although Citizens United has deemed this all fine and dandy, surely some monitoring should be going on to make sure the Kochs aren't in bed with every Republican congressman like a deranged and conservative Barney Stinson. So, whose job is that? Well, for that we turn to the Federal Election Commission, or FEC for short. Their job is to disclose campaign finance information, enforce the provisions of the law and prohibitions on contributions, and to oversee the public funding of presidential elections. That's word for word their own mission statement. Let's see how they do.
The FEC, which is supposed to be enforcing campaign finance laws so people have trust in the system, isn't. I would say that it is enormously dysfunctional at the FEC.
Yeah. And that wasn't just anybody. That was Ann Ravel, who at the time of that interview was the chair of the FEC herself. It's like if a Chipotle worker gave themselves a 1-star on Yelp because they go light on the steak. One example of the uselessness of the FEC comes in the forming of fighting super PACs. Although super PACs are allowed to use an unlimited amount of money to aid a candidate, they technically can't use the candidate's name in their own name. So when super PACs like Carly for America are created, the FEC cracks down hard on them. Except, not really.
The Carly for America Super PAC changed the name officially to the following acronym: Conservative, Authentic, Responsive Leadership for You and for America, or Carly for America.
So basically, a government agency got loopholed and the US federal government got out-lawyered. And it was a little too easy. Most government officials know of the FEC's ineptitudes, and many politicians strongly condemn the use of dark money to win elections. Here's Hillary Clinton.
We all know we're going up against some pretty powerful forces that will say, do, and spend whatever it takes to stop me and stop you.
As much as it does make sense for Democrats to want to kill Citizens United and create limits on dark money spending, they're not completely innocent themselves.
And here's the rub. Hillary Clinton, although she talks a very, very big game about reforming the system, has been arguably one of the biggest beneficiaries of the Citizens United decision in this election cycle, even among all presidential candidates since Citizens United became a decision. And here's how. She has a constellation of organizations, including 4 core super PACs, that are supporting her to the tune of tens upon tens of millions of dollars.
So everyone from Carly Fiorina to Hillary Clinton is benefiting from dark money spending, and everyone from Hillary Clinton to even the Koch brothers play dumb when it comes to spending. Watch this.
What do you think of Citizens United? Has it helped your influence in
Citizens United?
the Supreme Court decision.
That was David Koch, the mob boss of dark money, acting as if he didn't know what Citizens United was after investigators found that 4 separate coke companies had money in it. That's like if The Godfather heard that someone put a horse's head in Jack Woltz's bed, then turned around and said, "I have never seen a horse in my entire life." So, to recap, corporations can donate money with unknown sources to whichever political candidate they want, in undisclosed amounts as to dominate local TV stations with ads, raise storms of attack against candidates that threaten their agenda, and pollute the minds of Americans with commercials and statements that are falsified because there is no law saying that anything they say has to be true. And it's all legal. The reason it's legal is because the Supreme Court ruled it was on a 5-4 vote, with 2 of the 5 having been courted by Citizens United, and to top it all off, politicians on both sides are fighting it while secretly all benefiting from it. America is by no stretch of the imagination an ordinary country, and it never has been. It wasn't founded by a monarch, its borders are not the result of a 15th century proxy war, and its people aren't its people because of race or geographical fate. No, America was founded on ideology, its borders a result of the mentality of exceptionalism, and its people are its people because they believe in a common ideology. America is America because 240 years ago we decided that we wanted to decide the path we took. Let's not let anyone choose that path for us. Thank you, and good night.